Now to a historic civil rights decision handed down this morning. The United States Supreme Court ruling that gay and transgender Americans cannot be fired or discriminated against simply because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Ariana Lake brings us new reaction to today's decision and another recent one by the president's administration.
It's been a busy last few days, plenty of new developments coming out of our nation's capital, and these decisions are impacting people right here in Washington and Idaho.
For me, it was a big sigh of relief.
That was Lance Kistler's first reaction to this morning's landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The majority opinion cites the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was created to address the problems of race and gender discrimination. Conservative Justice Neil Gorsuch writes that the law encompasses lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in America. It's an important distinction, according to Kistler, who serves on Spokane's Human Rights Commission.
Unfortunately, we live in a city and a state that has those protections, but there are states throughout the United States that don't have them, including our neighboring Idaho. So hearing that news today, I think really gave a lot of us a sigh of relief.
But human rights leaders still have cause for concern.
One of the questions that's out there now is how does this impact the ruling that was issued on Friday regarding health care in terms of the LGBT community?
He's referring to the Trump administration's new rule. It overturns protections for transgender people against sex discrimination in health care. The ACLU is already promising to fight it.
It is an unconscionable rule. It is a rule that attempts to or seeks to deny health care from people. That would be unconscionable at any time, but in the midst of a pandemic, it's particularly cruel and egregious.
For Kistler, these decisions are reinforcing plans for more local resources here in Spokane.
This is a reminder that at any time, our civil and human rights can be left up to the decision to a handful of people, to an administration, to a legislative body. And so locally, we've been pushing for an Office of Civil Rights.
Kistler is part of a new task force that's looking into how an office like that would work in Spokane. It's still early on in planning. Right now, the group is working on a report to submit to city leaders.
Just because we check off a box or we pass a piece of legislation or have a ruling, it doesn't mean that the work is done.
The Human Rights Coalition right here in Spokane does have one opening right now, according to Kistler. So if you'd like to be shaping public policy here locally, that's one avenue you could take. Reporting in Spokane, I'm Ariana Lake, 4 News Now.